Hello everyone and welcome to our video on Nix and Nix Flakes. In this video we're going to look at building our developer environment that you can share between other developers in your team. You can share between your environments if you've got other stuff as well. And at the very end we're going to look at Home Manager just very briefly. There's going to be another video where we kind of take a deeper dive into Home Manager and how to set it up for your own benefit. So what is Nix? Nix is initially it was a package manager. It does also have Nix OS, which I think it came out quite a while ago. I think it came out in 2003. So Nix OS has been around for a while, and Nix package manager also along with it. And the kind of popularity that has picked up in the last couple of years for Nix Flakes is especially around bigger developer teams or developer teams that need to share environments, especially if you're working on a Node project and you all need to have the same Node version. It's a great way of kind of standardizing that, making sure everyone's kind of locked into the same version and there's no issues like that within the team. So in this video, we're going to quickly look at building our first developer shell. And at the very end, we're going to briefly look at the home manager. And I think that would be it for this video. So I hope you guys enjoy and please continue to watch the video. So let's get started with creating our first Nix development environment. So where are we? Let's create just a new directory here. My first or Nix dev environments. Go ahead and see here. And what we want to run is this Nix command, Nix Flake init, which will create us a boilerplate Nix flake.nix file. And we can actually open this in Vim, flake.nix. And it's a very basic boilerplate. If you run this in Nix develop, it'll grant you the hello and the default packages just installed like it is. So I'm going to show you how you can define the packages that you want to have installed in your shell. So this is just a basic sort of shell. So description, you can call it whatever. You can output it into different places. That doesn't really matter so much. So the environment. This is where you can define different sort of type of packages that actually go. You can pull. You can pull more packages from. I didn't explain that very well. So you can define URLs for repositories where you can pull different packages from. So that's about it. Outputs is actually where you get started with your there we go. That's working. Where you define where you're pulling them from. Since at the moment it's pulling from self and Nix packages, but for example, if you were to add like another URL here, you'd have to define it as well here. So like Nix packages old or something. If you define like the old URL. One way to kind of get around this is to remove the self thing. Just keep Nix packages because that's the one that you're probably going to use the most. And this three dots here, which references the inputs essentially. Or we'll reference the inputs after we've done this. So we do at inputs here. And now if we had Nix packages old here or any other URL or other reference, we'd be able to just reference it by doing at the inputs dot Nix packages old, something along these lines. Nix inputs packages old and stuff like that. We'd be able to use that, for example. So let me show you a couple of things now. So now we have our outputs. We need to actually define them here. And let packages equals import Nix packages. But I can't type when people are watching me. System. We define our system. So at the moment I'm on a Windows, but as I'm running WSL dash underscore 64 dash Linux. Close that. And if, for example, if you want Terraform or anything like that, you can do something like this: config allow on3 equals true, and close it like this a couple of times. There we go. So with Terraform going into our paid license mode, it will come up with a bunch of errors that, oh, you can't run Terraform without having a license, so you haven't provided enough files to make it run. So this allows you to kind of run it for if you're within the license laws, of course. I'm not saying don't pay for it, but you know what I mean. So that's, for example, how to do that. We do, and just close this in. There we go. So now, if we want our dev shell, let's over here. Let's just tab it because I really can't be bothered. Dev shells. This is how you define any dev shells you want to run in x84. Then you define your system. Dash Linux defaults. Packages. Make shell. Open our parentheses. And this is where we define our build inputs for the shell that we actually want to be running, which is all coming in an array. So now we can just reference packages by doing this pkp, just the shortcut packages. So I don't know, I'll install a couple of things that I definitely know aren't on this machine. So K9 packages, Helm, for example, packages.go. Should be really. And we just close it. Close this one, I believe. And that should be it. So this is just a very simple Nix dev shell that you can just run with the Nix develop. And what we're going to install is K9's Helm and Golang. So let's save this. We can do, oh, since I said go, I wanted to run go. We do Nix develop, and I typed something wrong. Just check. Let's see. Oh, I see what I did wrong here. This isn't needed here. This parentheses is just supposed to be colon, and then that's it. So now if we run Nix develop, there we go. It will start building out our Nix environment. So now came back with from our bash, for example. But now if we run K9s, boom, we've got K9s running in our system. Let's just exit out of this. Go version. Nice, 123. Everything's installed. And I did not have these on my system before running Nix. As you can see, my shells actually change. It's kind of just going back to bash, but you can define what kind of shell you want to be your default shell. You can have ZSH, bash, everything like that. So as we can see in our file here, we've actually created a Flake lock as well. So if we open this in Vim, you can see it's actually locked everything into certain versions, and the packages something similar. If you're using Node to the package lock JSON file, similar idea with this. So we know if we pass the same sort of this folder to another developer, they'll be in the same versions as us, and it won't really we can work in the same environments and have the same packages. This is very popular in DevOps. For example, in Terraform, you want certain versions. You don't want everyone to have installed like a lengthy, TNV or TFENV, things like that. Node, for example, as well, jumping between the different versions and so on. So this is a great way for developers to have the same environment in a matter of a couple of minutes, and then just with like writing a simple file like this. So this is what I would recommend. So one problem I find with Nix, as you can see, let's go back to our file, the Flake.nix file. This is a pretty simple looking package, but what I found with looking for simple, just make shelf just developer shells, there's a lot of different ways to write this, and a lot of different people have different approaches to them. A lot of people define everything into a variable and then run it inside of the dev shell, for example, by build inputs, having it up here, and so on and so forth. You can define everything. It's very open to interpretation, is what I'm saying. That for me is kind of like a bad thing and a good thing at the same time. Yes, it brings innovation. Yes, you can make things a lot smaller, a lot simpler. But then again, you don't have like a standardized way of doing things. There is the documentation which recommends how to do things, and a lot of people follow it, so you can find great things and how to do it. However, there's a lot of people like myself. I like to change things all the time. I go out and do things a lot differently. So I think that's the biggest thing that's kind of stopping Nix at the moment from being really mainstream, it's picking up a lot in DevOps and different environments, but I think that's what's missing from the next step. If the Nix community agreed on a standardized way, right, we write it this way, we're sticking with it. I think the sky's the limit for this. So that's pretty much all you really need to know for a developer for creating a developer shell with Nix. One more thing I kind of want to show you guys is Home Manager, which is the next part of this video. So let me just jump over to my other shell. So I'm back in my other shell. So for Home Manager, what you want to do is you actually have to add a new channel for Nix channel, and it would run Nix channel update. I can copy the command. There we go. And that's pretty much it for actually getting the pretty much it. We just need to run a couple more commands with check and copy. Is Nix shell home manager -a install. And it's going to create our create a new folder within our .config, I believe, called home manager, where we can define our home.nix file, which is a similar sort of, well, the home.nix is slightly different, but also takes a Flake, for example. So it imports the Flake. There we go. So if we go here, cd, oh, no, yeah, it's not directory, but if we open it, for example, there we go. So this is a home manager file. Home, yeah, yes, home manager file, home.nix file. And you can define a lot of different things here. You can import files from, for example, if you have already a .files sort of directory where you have like all your NeoVim setup, K9 setup, and all the other sort of packages you like running, you can import it here. So you have, for example, here how to import stuff. You can add different sort of session variables, define what your preferred stuff is, and you can then store it in Git, and you can bring it from different computers. I used Home Manager recently on my new laptop that I bought. I bought an Alienware M16, and I had a lot of things on my MacBook that I wanted to bring over. I was getting rid of my MacBook. I'm completely off the Apple's ecosystem. Um, when I was bringing over my files, I was like, right, let me try and simplify this. I brought it to Home Manager, and in a matter of a few minutes, I had my whole developer environment set up. So that was a great thing. I'm not going to go too much into details on how to set it up at the moment, but I just want to show you guys this. I think this is the biggest advantage of Nix at the moment. If you constantly jump between computers, so say your work laptop, home laptop, PC, if you're like me and running on free systems, you want to standardize your experience. So I think Home Manager is the best thing from Nix, in my opinion, at the moment. Developer environments are great, but I think this is the game changer for me. I will in the future create, like, probably our next video is going to be a sort of deeper dive into Home Manager and how to run it. We're also going to have a slightly deeper dive into the actual Flakes as well. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this. Stay tuned, and please like and subscribe. Thank you very much.